All right, we are live. Welcome all. This is session 36 of Storm King's Thunder. This session is titled Those Who Endure. Last we left off, the party had been captured by the Lady of Masks, Countess Sansari, the giant lord of the Cloud Giants, and the party was captured and brought to her floating fortress called Lin Armal. Upon being defeated and captured, Livy and Octavius were the first to be pulled into the audience chamber and questioned about what they've learned from the Oracle. Sansari seemed fixated on the fact that these puny folk, she called them, was able to get in contact essentially with her god, Anam the Allfather, through the voice of the Oracle. And she was wondering what these puny folk were able to learn from the god that she and her giant brethren have not spoken to in many of years. Livy, refraining from knowing anything, basically bid some time, but had Octavius's life on the line. She was forced to give some information, and was told that that Sansari always gets her way, and that she'll have a little bit of time to think about it. But if not, one way or the other, Sansari will get her answers. They were thrown then into the stockades with the rest of the party, where they discovered Warrendel was also thrown in, who beforehand, to the party's knowledge, betrayed them and attacked them. Warrendel obviously knows a different story, as he's been captured for a little bit of time now, and there's a bit of tension between the party as they wondered why their own friend turned on them. They also realized that they were not alone in these stockades. They came across a Aarakocra by the name of Jaka, who was badly wounded. His wings were basically torn and ripped up. It didn't look like they were very feathery at all. And they came across a very old friend, backing to the old sessions of like session 3 or 4, Phagolus, or as they know them, Soul, a copper dragon, who also has been captured and tortured for answers about the ritual to completing the Song of Storms, a stone that Liviant, the barbarian, one half was protecting. He was protecting the Noon Stone, and the party found out that Sansari now has the Noon and the Night Stone and plans to combine them. Wanting to obviously get out of this situation and not having much luck breaking out of the stockades, Octavius got to a bit of a desperate measure and decided that he would chop off his own hand and cast freedom of movement on it and throw his severed hand across the rim onto Phagolus, breaking him free of most of his chains, but not one in particular. Phagolus, flailing around the room, broke the cage that the party was in and freed them. Upon that, they went looking for Sansari's workshop, where they knew most of their gear and hopefully the key to the lock on Phagolus' lock would be. They bumped into 3 ogre cooks, who Warrendel convinced he was a relief chef and that they were actually doing the wrong job, not here to feed the griffins. They were supposed to go cook dinner for Sansari, I believe. And he was able to talk the ogres out of their current mission, but they were upset that this new cook showed up and basically complained about union stuff, blah, 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 ran away in an upset. They then snuck into Sansari's workshop, almost bumping into Sansari's 2 giant children. And upon in there, they reclaimed their gear, found a couple of weird looking items and potions. And just before they were about to make their escape, Sansari broke into the room, or shoved her way into the room, and basically revealed on her neck a chest, this little treasure chest necklace that opened up into a magical real chest, in which she pulled out the conch of teleportation, which is something that the party has been looking for since the Eye of the Allfather, and took the Night Stone, or the Noon Stone, and put it in the chest, and said that it was too dangerous to have these 2 stones out, and that she would hide the conch in her room, and basically gave this monologue of her evil, nefarious plan to bring back the Endless Storm, and then left the workshop, apparently heading towards her bedroom. That, I believe, is where we left off. Octavius is down this long hallway. The rest of the party, basically, they split up. Octavius wanting to not be caught for his lack of being able to stealth. He was waiting, keeping a lookout down this long 150-foot hallway. He's seen Sansuri bust into the room, and I imagine there's a moment where you're kind of holding your breath and thinking about whether you should storm down the hallway and save your friends. But after a couple minutes, you let your breath out and you see that Sansuri comes back out. She doesn't look like she's in a upset or anything. She doesn't look like she's fought or even noticed your party members. So you sigh a breath of relief, Octavios. What exactly is going through your mind at this moment as you see Sansuri walk northernward down the hallway and then make a sharp left and out of your vision?
Just a sigh of relief comes over Octavius. Basically, his mind's been blank, just panicked in the reality of the now, waiting and hoping to react properly, but really just flashing the reality in front of him.
Absolutely. And as you're standing in this moment, you realize, Octavius, that your vision is blurry. You hear crunching and tearing from behind you, and as you look around, you see that the griffins are still tearing into the meat that you gave them to distract. You look behind and you see these raw, bright red slabs of meat being torn into by the winged beast. They're crunching as they effortlessly chomp through the bone, and they rip apart this particularly sinewy piece of flesh. Blood covers their beaks as they feast, and the rabid sounds playing over and over again in your head, Octavios, crunch as they back into the as they back into the breaking of the cage. You feel your wrist break as you just hear this crunch. You look down at the snap or at the stump of your hand, which is now wrapped in the clothing that you used to wrap it. It's soiled in this deep red crimson color, and it drips. You did a little bit of healing, but you basically just kind of a temporary fix. You look at the beaks of these hungry creatures behind you, trying to collect yourself, shaking your head, and you realize you're distracted. You look back down the bright white stoned hallway. It's perfectly clean. There's nothing but stones covering the floor. Your friends still in the room, presumably looking for your equipment and their equipment, everything you own. But then you realize that it's not everything you own. As you feel your fingers stinging, you feel the thorns digging into your ring finger. It throbs particularly bad in this moment, and you kind of chuckle to yourself, thinking that of all of the things on your body to hurt right now, it's your ring finger opposed to your now stumped right hand. You look and you see the ring of suffering still there. The giants must have missed it or overlooked it. It's not a particularly shiny object. And you feel a strong gust of wind blow down the hallway. And then you suddenly see sand creeping up to your ankles. Think to yourself, sand. And you now look ahead. It's bright. You come out of focus, blurry vision again. And as your vision focus, you're now in a desert. Once again, dry, scorching heat, endless desert down this hallway. You ask yourself, as you realize this desert that you're in, if you ever left it. This momentary question, thinking back to the trials that you faced. But yes, you look down and you see the ring on your finger, and you remember the trials you went through, and you remember that Ilmater spoke to you and said that you have endured and you have proven yourself. He called you Octavios the Undaunted. The words of the crying god now return to you as you collect yourself and realize that this just must be a mirage. The ring of suffering will be an unbearable pain, he tells you. You must be willing to lose everything, even your own life. Wed yourself to the torment. It will be faithful to you and no other. Together we will suffer together, Octavios. As you remember Ilmater, the Lord of the Rack, chained up to this crucifix in the desert and chopping off one of his fingers to give you the ring. Your vision now flashes in your head. The many strikes and blows that you have taken. You're now going back over and over again, the nightly lashings. you slapping yourself and tearing your flesh. Just like the feasting of the griffins behind you, your body is now littered from scars from all the nightly prayers that you've done to prove yourself worthy to Ilmater. And as you're going through this night, kind of this montage of you whipping yourself, there's many of these nights where you've seen your friends' eyes. Livy, Warrendell, Sunlit, and you see their eyes are disturbed and confused. They're worried, even scared of you perhaps now. But of all those nightly lashings replaying over and over again in your mind, you know it's worth it because you know it's for them. You just hope that you can endure a bit more because midnight is quickly approaching and the ring's tribute will need to be paid. You don't know if it's an hour or two, but you know it's coming shortly. And you only hope that you've pushed yourself far enough over these nights to endure Ilmater's burden. But you know, particularly on this night, that you've pushed yourself very far. We flash back over to the workshop. Like Liviant, you're kind of stuck in this wheel of cheese. That was the only thing that you could find to jump into. Sanctuary bit into it, and now that she has chomped into it, you're particularly stuck because she almost like literally swallows you whole. But the part that she bit like melted the cheese and now has like kind of locks you in even more so. Livy, you're up in your rope trick. I believe you went with Jacka, the Aarakocra, right? You two climbed up there, and I believe that Warrendell was forced to hide behind a big planted tree. You guys found some items along with all of your gear. So everything that you should have is now back in your possession. You also find this little chime bell, these particularly weird looking glasses, a large iron key, 5 different potions, and this token of a feather. And the token itself, let me just pull it up, an image of it so I can describe it to you pointfully, is basically this large brown feather, white tipped, and there's this deep emerald green string tied around the base of it, and it basically has this large bird-like figure, this metal token at the end of it. Basically the feathers jammed into it, and a big horn is coming out of the bird's mouth, and it's like this little metal medallion or something. What has everyone doing as they realize that Sanctuary has now kind of left the room and you guys can breathe?
Reich just lays in the cheese for a minute. Kind of enjoys the squishiness. And then with a big sucking sound, sits up. I'm assuming.
Give me an athletics check, because this is a giant sized piece of cheese. Literally, like your whole body's in it.
Yeah. Athletics, huh?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, you pull yourself out. There's a big like suction-y sound, like you said, but you kind of come popping out of it after a while. A little bit of it breaks off, falls on your lap. Smells like good cheese.
Yeah. I I have a little bit in my glove and I taste it.
Yeah, it's a wonderful gorgonzola cheese. Very fine quality. Nice creamy, mild flavor.
Lovely. I'd rather not have it all over me. So
Yes,
he kind of tries to get some of it off his body as well as he can, and he looks back to the back corner of the room. Still the mask is on, waiting for Warrendell to emerge.
Yes, in Warrendell, you still feel the cold iron shackles around your wrist, and they're even more particularly cold for you as you feel them literally draining your, not necessarily your energy, but there's a bit of peps taken from your step now, because you realize that these are anti-magic chains. So you feel particularly not necessarily weakened, but there's just a bit of energy missing, almost this exhaustion over you, and can't help but want these shackles off more than anything.
Once I know she's gone, I'll step out behind this wonderful plant I've been hiding behind and make my way down. I can't do a whole lot since my hands are still bound, but I'll at least make my way over to where the others are. You got to get these shepherds off me before I can help you any.
Livy would be letting the friend slip down first from the rope trick and then follow after. And if she hears Warrendale talking about the cuffs, she'd look about to see if there's like, I don't know, maybe any oil for lanterns, butter, lard. I don't think we're in the kitchen, so it's like I don't think those would be there. But she would kind of like, oh, here's some oil. We can pour it over and see if we can slip your hands out.
Or we could cut your hands off as well.
Nah, I need them.
Yeah. Or we could leave those on you, and then you won't be so fucking dangerous.
Nah, but then you might die without me.
I don't like you at all.
That's okay.
And the key that he has that we found, is it much larger than that?
Yeah, it's a pretty big key.
Okay.
Let's see if it actually says how much it weighs. It probably does. It's a 2-foot long iron key.
Well, Rick's a big guy. You know what I mean? It's not. I'm not worried about that. But it's larger than the cuffs that he has on.
Yes, for sure.
Okay. Yeah.
Looking over the other stuff that's there, do I recognize anything?
Give it an Arcana check. And basically, there's 5 potions. You can tell me what you're looking into. There's some glasses, a little chime bell, and
A token.
A token, yeah.
Yeah, I'd be more interested. Probably either the glasses or the bell. So probably the bell.
Okay. Which one do you want to make an Arcana check on?
The bell.
All right, go ahead and do that.
Oh, where's our cannon?
12. So, oh, interesting. This is not what I thought it looked like at all. So the bell itself, I guess it's more of a chime. Sorry. I thought it was a bell. So basically it's this metal pole, this like kind of square or octagonal long shaft of silver. And there's it's hollowed, and on one end there is basically like a keychain through it, and a chain running down, and like another metallic stick that you would bang it on, and it looks like some kind of chime. With a 12, you do get the sense that it is magical in nature. You do see that there is basically faint arcanic runes drawn on it, which would state that obviously it has some kind of magic power. You obviously don't know necessarily what it does.
It's giant size too, I assume.
No, it's actually not. It's only 1 foot.
Oh.
I guess for a chime. I don't know if that's a big chime or not. It weighs 1 pound.
Oh, not too bad then.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's pretty
Yeah, it's definitely magical though, and that's about all you can discern. Anybody else? What is Jacka would say that this key would look about the size for the chain around our big copper friend.
That's what I was thinking too. Perhaps the Birdman can carry that out. It's a bit big for the rest of us, and I do not have any hands yet.
Livy don't say nothing. Livy's like, ooh, glasses.
Livy, come on now.
What? No. What do you think? Do these make me look smarter?
Do you put the glasses on?
Yes, she did.
Why not?
You just
One,
said that. You
why
did.
not?
All right. Make that investigation check at an advantage then.
Ooh. Ooh. Okay. Click the advantage, Majigger Mary, and then double click on that. Oh!
Perfect. So yeah, as you put these lenses on, they're crystal lenses that fit over your eyes, and while you put them on, you realize that you see like so much better in immediate area around yourself. And you realize that this is because it's magically enhanced. And with a natural 20, you just basically figure out that while you wear these glasses, you get advantages on investigation checks that rely on sight while studying objects within your like vicinity.
Nice.
And these are called eyes of minute seeing.
Eyes of minute seeing. Okay.
I'll add it to your inventory for you.
Oh, thank you. I was about to. Whoa. Wow, I feel like I can see clearly now. Okay. And she will then proceed to kind of walk up and down the table-ish area if she's able to climb up. Because they're still looking for a key, right?
No, you guys found a large iron key.
Never mind.
5 potions, a feather token, and this chime that Morandell is kind of looking over. Basically, though, Morandell, you figure out as you're looking at this thing that the little key ring and the chain that connects this other smaller pole would presumably be used to hit the chime itself and make a ringing noise. You obviously get how it works.
Right.
I don't want to share the picture of it because it actually will just tell you what it is.
Oh. Of course.
All right, so Reich is going to take the key and start going over near Saul.
All right, so you're gonna like make your way back to the workshop door, and it is around this time that you guys would get the sense that you don't want to hang out too long, and it's been a while since you have seen Octavios. Like at least 10 minutes have went by now, and he's just kind of left with the Griffin room. And as you begin to head towards the door, it's obviously this massive wooden door, right, or Reykjavik, that would need a check to open any doors in these giant buildings. You need to make a strength check. But as you go to exert yourself, you hear a loud, angry, booming voice. Presumably on the other side, it sounds like. Luckily for you, being not giant size, there's actually a decent crack underneath the door that, if you guys were really like needed to, you probably actually could have like or squeezed yourself underneath. But it does give you a decent view, and as you kind of lean your head down, you do see that there is a pair of giant feet, not Sansri, but basically 25 feet, 30 feet away from you, where the hallway breaks off towards the left, you see a pair of giant feet and hear this voice booming out.
We got company.
I will grab this chime the best I can. I don't want it to like making noise and ringing, though, so I'll try to hold it so that it doesn't make too much noise in any case.
Mm-hmm.
And behind my back here. Well, grab what we can. We gotta go find the priest anyway. Perhaps Sol will be able to help us a little bit further.
And okay. So the door. Okay.
And you can pretty much almost make out what these what this voice is saying. And obviously we need a perception check to fully discern, but Reich, you're the only one that, do you tell everybody else that you hear other people on the other side?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
so yeah, Reich Livian tells you that we have company on the other side, and as you guys stop to listen, yeah, you do hear it, and it sounds like somebody is talking to, it seems to be 3 voices that you can hear. If anyone wants to try to overhear what's going on, now would be the time to do so. Either that, or you can try to see what's going on, or push open the door and just walk out and see what's going on. It's up to you guys. What do you want to do?
I think that last idea is the worst. Reich would look because he doesn't understand giant. So
Yep. Same with Livy.
Interestingly enough, we'll see what you roll.
what do you mean to roll for that?
Perception.
Perception.
Yes, yes. What are you doing, Warrendell, also, if anything? Getting up to
I'm
go.
leaving them locked over there. 10. Nothing.
So yeah, you can definitely see that there are 3 sets of feet, so 3 cloud giants. One in particular, let me pull up his thing. I should already have this open. Basically looks like he's wearing finer robes and clothing. Where are you, my friend? Right here. He's a younger looking cloud giant. Basically looks like he's in his prime. He is wearing these bright, like pristine looking bracers that have these wisps of clouds basically engraved on them. He is adorning these fine cloaks and basically has this nice cloud-like brooch around his neck. This guy looks like he is upper echelon kind of noble, whereas the other 2 giants that he's speaking to just basically look like your kind of typical guard giants. Ryglivian, as you look and you see this, you actually hear, and they're speaking common, but you don't hear enough. Your perception's not enough to make out what they're saying. And as you look over and Livy's kind of squeezing under the door with you, just like, hey, I want to see. You're like, wait, are they speaking common? And then you guys kind of go back and forth like, yeah, I think they are. But between you talking to yourselves, you don't hear what they're saying. What do you want to do, Warrendell? Apparently these giants are speaking common to themselves.
He's still chained to the wall, right?
He's not chained to the wall, no. He has shackles
his
around
hands
his...
are just chained. Okay.
Yes. You're on mute, Mr. Warrendell.
Is the one that's on chained to the wall also cloud giant?
Say again, sorry?
Is the one that's on the wall also a cloud giant? Or did I misunderstand?
Maybe misunderstand. There's 3 cloud giants outside the room, basically just around the bend, talking to themselves. And Ryglivian and Livy go to get a look by just basically peeking under the large door because the doors are large, and they are trying to like between themselves make out what's going on. And they're saying that they're speaking common, but they can't hear because they're just talking to themselves.
Gotcha. Okay. Is the door open a little bit or no?
No, the door actually was firmly shut, but there is like the crevice underneath because it's such a large door that you could, if you reasonably wanted to, squeeze underneath it.
Okay, well, maybe that'll work then, because I'm just gonna see if I could crack it open to slide in, but I'm quite small. Move. Let me get out of the way here. Let me have a look. Crouch down as low as I can and scurry forward a little bit.
You want to give a perception check and see if you can understand what they're saying?
I'll do that, yeah.
Nope.
You're talking to
We
me.
are not meant to know this.
Yeah, you're not meant to know what's going on. So basically, that's interesting.
Can I see who is chained to the wall?
No one's chained to the wall. Sorry,
okay.
That must just be a miscommunication.
Oh, okay.
I think. Wait, that's the miscommunication here. Corey thought that you were chained to a wall. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, all right. Do we know which way Octavius went?
Yeah, you guys. Octavius is southward. If you're looking at the map that I said we're not going to use, but I guess we'll use.
Right. No, it's fine. So. I can fit under this door.
You can squeeze, yes. It basically you have to drop prone and squeeze yourself, so it'd be like a half movement. But you reasonably could squeeze under there. If you were to get, it'll take basically a full turn to get from one side of the door to the other because it is particularly narrow, especially since you're a big guy.
Yeah.
Livy and I will push hard.
Take off your clothes and grease up.
No, we're not doing all that. Not that he wears very much armor or anything anyways, but I'm gonna get as south on the door as I can, or wherever the biggest gap is, and get myself underneath there. Now, they're not paying attention to us.
No, and as their conversation goes on, it seems like they're not particularly like just basically going back and forth. But as you get ready to squeeze underneath, the one with the noble robes actually suddenly takes a turn in demeanor and starts getting quite angry. And he yells out at them. And this, you don't need a perception. So you missed the first half of the conversation for sure. But he begins to yell at these guys and says, "What do you mean you let the wormling worshipping bitch get away? You fools! How is this possible?" And they begin to stammer and try to say something. You can't necessarily hear what they're saying because you guys bombed your perception checks. But he is very mad about this, and you hear him pull him in and whisper something to them. And then the giants, basically what you hear is after he reams them out, they basically look like they're going to turn around and go to the room behind them. And this nobleman says, "Where do you think you're going?" And they said, "Well, we just finished the attack, boss. It's our turn for rest." And then he looks at them and says, "The way I seen it is you failed me and you failed my beloved Sansuri. There will be no rest for you. Get back on duty. Sansuri is in a particularly sour mood tonight, and I will not have anyone further it. Make sure you check on our prisoners in 2 hours and make sure they're fed in contempt. She's preparing a ritual, which will make them much more compliant. Dismissed." And then they're just kind of standing there for a moment. He storms out to the left, and those two giants are looking at themselves and rather frustrated. You would realize that one of these giants is actually the one that basically wiped your party and defeated you guys. And then they're kind of standing there, and they get mad at each other for a moment. They're bickering over whose fault it was or whatever happened. And then they too also storm off to the left, leaving you guys empty in the hall.
So like halfway under the door, he watches this happen. Maybe puts up a hand behind him to hold, and then after they walk away, he'll roll under the door.
Yeah, so you squeeze under the door. Like I said, it just takes a turn to do so.
Yeah. So he's on the other side.
You pop out. What's everybody else doing?
Carefully following.
All right.
Seeing how detailed the stone floor is with her new site.
Do I know where Octavius is?
He's
back with the Griffins.
Yeah, you presume he's back in the Griffin unless he got adventurous. That's where he said he would wait for you.
All right.
But hurry up, I'll keep watch out here, but we got to get back to the priest soon.
I might have stumbled in towards Saul by now, but that's about it.
I'll just keep watch on my side of the door for the time being. That way, if anything comes along, I can scoot underneath or at least warn them and let them do what they're going to do in there.
So just to confirm, you understand, you are in the workshop right now, which is a room basically on itself, and you want to stay in the workshop?
Oh, I was thinking you're on the outside. Okay. Oh, yeah. In that case, I would scoot under the door as well then. Probably, yeah.
So yeah, the three of you, or the four of you with Jacka, scoot out under the door, and you're back into the large white hallway with the very high cathedral-like ceiling and the kind of bas relief or sculpture painting in the ceiling of basically cloud giants sitting on clouds and looking godly down upon the hallway. There's torches that light the hall every couple of every like 30 or actually like 50 feet or so, and then just basically 120 130 feet hallway to get back to where Octavius is. Probably you remember that as you're looking down southward to your left, the hallway branches off in a T shape towards the audience chamber, where you guys remember seeing the two children, Keltar and what is the other one's name? I actually am completely forgetting. Keltar and Alestra, the two giant children, were basically got into an argument, and they almost were going to come your direction, but you momentarily distracted them. You don't know what came of that argument, but that hallway is to get by. So you guys, as you're coming up towards that T, obviously southward heading towards Octavios, and then towards the east or your left is the audience chamber. That's the kind of intersection you're at. Do you guys want to make a stealth check, or are you just going to walk down the hallway?
Stealthing.
All right, go ahead and stealth.
B.
Yeah,
Oh,
because
come on, Livy. What is going on tonight? Yeah, she's tired. And hurt. A trail of blood following her everywhere she goes.
I am not much better.
Livy trips. Warren bumps into her.
somehow the big guy just walks past you.
Yeah, so you and Jacka, like Livy, are pretty quietly, but as you turn around, you look at Livy and Warrendale basically peek, and yeah, you peek down the hallway into the audience chamber, and you don't see the children anymore. And basically, you breathe a sigh of relief, bump into Warrendale, have that little mix-up, and then continue down. And you're about halfway towards Octavios when you see another door on the right. Livient and Jacka are just basically, I'll move you to where you would have been, and you're like 10, 20 feet away from Octavios. You see him on the other side of the door waiting. And it's actually right around there, Livy, that you get to when that door on the right creaks open. And pushing their way out is a child, young girl, but taller than you. She looks like an infant, and you instantly recognize this as Alestra. And she pushes open the door when you bump into each other and apologize, and push open the door, and she looks at you, and interestingly enough, does speak in Giant.
Oh.
She's basically she has these childlike robes on. It's actually a nightgown now, and she has this little like toy makeup bag that she has, but in fact, since she's so large, is like literally this massive bag, and she has a doll in one hand. And as she makes eye contact with you, her eyes light up, and then she speaks something in Giant, which you have no clue what she's saying, and you and Warrendale are just left there like deer in headlights.
Where's Reich?
Reich, you are basically just 30 feet away from them and like 15 feet away from Octavios.
Okay.
Yeah, Livy's not really sure what to do other than she's just kind of stunned with a smile, like, and if they could read thoughts, she's going, oh shit. Like, oh no.
Oh.
We're either going to be playing dolls here really soon, or honestly though, and suddenly Livy's face kind of gets a little more serious and less worried, where she's like, if any of the giants I were to think might be persuaded to our side, she would be it.
Well, you might find this a bit hard to believe, but I don't have a very good way with words with children.
Sure. So Livy will then just kind of like in that midst of just chatting, will finally just kind of gently wave back like, hi, and smile in the hopes that it's like, if this child knows how to speak common, you better speak it soon. Otherwise, there's going to be some serious language barrier issues coming up real fast.
Yeah. You say hi, and she kind of laughs to herself, and it's kind of like a weird feeling for you because she is double the size of like a fully grown male, but as you look at her, she looks like a small infant, and she kind of almost cheerfully laughs and then gives a crude hi.
Awesome. All right. And then Livy kind of tries to like really think real quick, like, okay. Oh, kids like secrets. We can work with this. And just like, shh. and like kind of cover her eyes and kind of look at her like we're going to play hide and seek or something, in the hopes to maybe encourage her to not make a ruckus and play a game and not pick them up.
She smiles and says to you, "You're not supposed to be out of your cage."
And you're not supposed to be out of your bed.
Hi.
She laughs. Who do you think would get in more trouble?
Good question. I guess you know your mother more than I do, but I
don't think any of us need to get in trouble, though.
I imagine she doesn't like anyone breaking her rules, so I'm heading back to my cage.
Oh. No.
Nope.
I want to play with you. I'll keep it a secret if you keep it a secret.
You ever heard of a game called hide and seek?
Yes, me and my brother play that all the time, but that's not what I'm looking to play right now.
Well, I'm the champion. I was just going to challenge you, but if you're not good enough at it, that's okay.
I want to play a much different game. Oh, look, there's more of you. And she looks down the hallway and sees you, right, Liviant, and Jaka. Good. More people for my tea party.
Oh, no.
Octavius, what are you
I do
doing?
like a good cup of tea.
I'm imagining that, I'm just kind of swirling in my head and trying to look down this hallway as it's kind of blurry and just nervous and snickering to myself like, oh, geez, what are they going to do? I'm trying to prepare maybe something in my head just in case he gets to that.
She says, all of you, my little friends, come.
Great.
We will play. We will have tea. It is tea time. I was getting so bored of my other dolls. You guys seem like it'll be so much more fun.
Break just walks towards the other room.
I feel like Libby would also make mention to Warren, since he's right there, just kind of like, playing tea with her might help us figure out where Mother's room is.
I like tea. I could go for that.
And Libby, assuming with Warren, start walking into the room.
She looks to you, Livy, and says, "What is your name? You're very pretty for a little one."
Thanks. I'm Livy.
Well, hi, Livy. I don't know if your friend over there, I know my common isn't very good. My mom makes me study it every day. But your friend doesn't appear to be listening to me. He points to Rake Livian, who's walking down the hallway.
To be honest, I wouldn't worry about him. Okay? I would love to play tea with you. Can you show me the way?
I don't think you understand. He's not listening to me. I don't like when people don't listen to me. It makes me very angry. And when I get angry, I scream very loud.
Calm emotions comes out of Octavius's left hand.
Nice. I like it. What does that do?
It calms your fucking emotions, man.
Duh.
Read it to me.
Yeah. You attempt to suppress strong emotions in a group of people. Each humanoid in a 20-foot radius sphere centered on a point you choose within range must make a charisma saving throw. The creature can choose to ail the saving throw if it wishes. What? A creature can shell to... I don't know. If the creature fails the saving throw, choose one of the following two effects. I can suppress any effect causing a target to be charmed or frightened. When the spell ends, any suppressed effect resumes, providing that its duration has not expired in the meantime. And alternatively, you can make one target indifferent about creatures of your choice that it is hostile towards. This indifference ends if the targets that are attacked are harmed by a spell, or if it witnesses any of its friends being harmed. When the spell ends, any creature becomes hostile again, unless the GM rules otherwise.
Okay. So yeah, she rolled a 10, which I'm going to assume doesn't fail. And so she does seem to be getting angry at the fact that Rake Livian's leaving and not listening to her. And you definitely see like her kind of cute nature just suddenly turn to a spoiled brat really quickly. But as you cast that, She just says, I'm just really looking for some friends. It's so lonely up in this tower. All I have is my mean brother, and my mother makes me study all day. She's a very powerful wizard, and she thinks that magic is the most important thing to learn. I just want to have some friends. Livy, won't you be my friend?
Oh yeah, and Livy's like, as she's saying this, coming up and like holding up her hand as high as she can, sort of, in the like, and try to take a pinky and be like, "Oh, come on, let's go play." I hear you. You know, yep, that's why I'm out adventuring, because I had to study all the time and learning all the magic, and I'm not even that good.
I'll keep it a secret. We can go to my room. I have this really cool tea table, and you can see all my other toys, and I'll talk to you about the castle and everything. I've been here for a very long time.
Ooh, you know, yes, let's go to your room, and maybe at some other point, I would love a tour. This place is so big. Oh, everything's big to me.
Okay. We'll have to be very quiet, though. If they catch us, Mom will be very upset. You guys are supposed to be in your cage. Luckily, it's nighttime, and there's less guards around. Most of them sleep.
Ooh, I'll keep it a secret if you keep it a secret.
What about you, old man? She looks to you, Wandel. Will you come have a tea party with us? You're not as friendly looking as Livy, but
I've had a bit of a rough day. My hands are stuck here together. I can't quite drink tea, but I'd be happy to come along and at least share a few tales and stories. I have lots of friends. Perhaps I can help you make some friends.
what about the other three over there? And now that you casted a spell on her, Octavio, she does know of your presence.
Well, the big guy's kind of a jerk, but the other guy's quite nice.
I'd like to see the other ones if you don't mind, young, wonderful little person. If you could just take Livy for a second, that'd be awesome. We'll be all there in about 5 minutes. I just need a minute.
Just want to talk to the group for a minute. Yeah, she'll Livy can, now that she has calm emotion cast over her, which lasts for a minute. She will like basically walk over, and you can keep her distracted. I'm assuming you want her to leave without you. Are you just trying to deceive her?
But I just, like Warrendel's got the key for Saul, right?
No.
All right.
No.
So, yeah.
Drake has it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll catch up here soon. But this tea sounds amazing. They'll catch up.
Yeah, maybe Livy can keep her distracted while we take care of some shit.
Yeah. So you can basically it's up to you, Livy, if you want her to start leading you towards the room. You don't
She'll
know
pick one for the team.
you don't know how far or like where this giant will take you, but the others can begin to run over to Fagolis, and we'll say that. So are you just standing put in the hallway? Or she says that we can hide in the guest room until they're done. No one's staying at the castle right now. And she points back. This is where I went to hide away from my brother.
Tour. Yeah. Show me the guest room.
All right. She'll pull you in there. And the other 4 people begin to head back to Fagolis. And she brings you into I don't want to say small. I was going to say small, but giant-sized room, smaller than the workshop, but still massive. And it has these 2 enormous, soft-looking beds that are handsomely carved out of wood. There is what looks like a couple of benches and storage areas for cloaks and garments, and a wooden table with a big 5-foot-tall brass decanter that looks like it is finely engraved, and a bunch of goblets, giant size also, with gemstones kind of glittering in them in platinum filigree. The goblets and decanter, although they're large, definitely look like they have some value to them. And then inside this room is basically just another door which leads to a giant size closet.
All right.
She pushes, showing you around. Basically, this is where I kind of like went to hide from my brother Kaltar. He's a big jerk. He just likes hurting my dolls, and he's always very mean to things and likes to just throw them over the castle into the abyss.
Does he go by another name? Like Sid?
Sid. He does look like he'd be a Sid. All right. You guys make your way. The griffins look like they're going to be finishing up eating any time now. You pull open into the room that Fagolis is in. He kind of whimpers when he comes in, but breathes a sigh of relief when he realizes it's you guys. You do pull the key out, and when he brings his large kind of copper neck down, you feel his warm air coming out of his large nostrils. And as you hold the iron key, it actually begins to glow this red hot. And suddenly, this black iron chain around his neck, a hole basically begins to melt, a keyhole in the side of it. Where there was not a keyhole before, there now is. And you can easily stick the key into it, and you hear a click as Fagolis has been set free.
Saul, you need to get out of here. We'll be fine.
Don't be ridiculous, Octavius. You're the one who saved me. I can't leave you now. I'm indebted to your life. Who knows what they would have done to me? Here, let me get into something more comfortable. And he mutters a word, and then bamf! Suddenly he transforms himself into this small halfling, which is the form that he met you in. This copper-haired, like almost this bushy fro, and these just plain-looking tunic and leggings, brown, and just a very friendly-looking halfling man, which is how you first met Fagolis, or as he introduced himself to you, Soul.
Right on, Saul. Let's go and see if we can... Wait, is there anything else we need to do around here?
We need to get the heck out of here. There's no reason to stay. Let's go at once before Sansari finds out and brings this whole castle down on us.
Oh, we have to get Livy back. Might have to get some tea.
Where's Livy? Oh, tea does sound quite nice. Do you have any?
I just looked to Warren.
Apparently, we're going to get some from the daughter.
Alistair, the spoiled little brat? That's a terrible idea. She's an awful creature.
That's where Olivia is right now.
She also makes very terrible tea. Some of the worst I've ever tasted.
Well, we have to take one for the team there. Fagolis.
I warn you, friends, the longer we stay here, the more dangerous it is. It's only a matter of time before Sansari comes back.
Do you know the exit, my little friend?
I mean, yes. We just go out into the battery and you guys can hop on and we'll fly away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, and he just turns his head and starts walking towards back down the hallway.
All right.
I'm having a hard time keeping up to the group. You know, Octavius is definitely starting to feel the effects of that. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Reich will, with purpose, walk towards Olivia.
Did you check off your spell slot, Dan, when you casted Calm Motion?
I do not believe I did.
Just make sure you're keeping track of that.
Thank you for reminding me.
So, Livy, she's showing you into the closet now, which has an enormous casket or a keg of something, to which she says that is an adult beverage. Mom calls it wine, and it's an enormous, giant size, basically keg of wine, enough to like drown you in easily. Obviously, it would fetch a wonderful price if you could somehow carry it, but it's massive in nature. And then before long, the rest of the party shows up with a copper-haired halfling, very friendly-looking individual with them.
Olivia, it's
Livy.
Livy. Yes. I wonder what the inside of that cabinet looks like. And if he could wink, he would wink at you, but he can't because he's got a mask on. His intention is to maybe get them to go in there, and then we'll lock her in the closet.
We did go into the closet area where the casket is, or not casket.
Yeah.
bigger.
To not be confusing though, when I say closet, it's giant in size, so it's literally a 30-foot by 40-foot room.
Okay.
It is a walk-in giant size closet.
Okay. So, but it is somewhere we could close this little girl inside of.
Presumably, you had push the door and close her.
Oh, but
There's
then she
no-
may scream.
And we get a few walls to work with.
Yeah. Well, is it time for tea?
Yes.
We're getting a tour. Hopefully, we'll find out where her brother's room is, and where her mom's room is, and where the kitchen is. And then
Go for a sandwich.
tea.
Yes. Yes.
Little girl, do you like pancakes?
Pancakes. That sounds quite nice. Yes.
Livy makes the best pancakes in the world. The kitchen usually has a really giant window where we can look outside, doesn't it?
Whoa. That's a run-on sentence.
And I'm gonna say, because I
Suck it.
just actually realized something. I just checked the spell, and we gotta. Oh, I don't even know how to handle that now. Damn.
Yeah, after a minute, she's gonna be angry again, maybe.
Yeah, and a minute has already passed.
Yeah.
So I gotta. We'll just say that it wears off as you guys are all entering the room because I don't want to retcon myself.
And she remembers, oh my gosh, that's right. You guys were supposed to be having a tea party with me.
Yeah. So she snaps out of it and she's like, "Wait a second. Did your friend do something to me?
What?
Are you trying to trick me? You don't want to have tea with me?"
No,
And
we're
she
all
starts-
here for tea.
She starts to get wild up.
Like, there's that look of like,
She screams, "You're a liar!" to you, but
No.
obviously getting riled up quickly. And this girl goes 0 to brat really quick. You see tears starting to well up in her eyes. And she says, "You said you would be my friend, Livy. Why did you let your friend make my head feel funny? Are you trying to get away? I won't let you get away. You're my friends now."
and yet I'm still standing here with you, little girl. What part of me is trying to get away?
Looking at you. Sniffles. "So you're not trying to get away? You'll come to tea with me?
That's the plan. You're showing me this room.
Why did your friend make my head feel funny then?"
I have.
Because he's a jerk.
I've been waiting for tea all morning. Evening. I don't know what time it is.
It does
Hey,
say that
do you-
it does say that the person becomes hostile towards you. So one of you guys are going to have to try to persuade her to de-escalate her, because obviously the spell and its nature.
I'm a bad man. I apologize. My friends will make me feel about it later. Maybe you shouldn't give me any tea.
I would have denied him for you if you would like. He's quite sick.
Absolutely not. He does not deserve any tea.
I cut my hand off, and I've been rude all day. I'm sorry.
That makes
All right.
person pretty grumpy.
All right, I'll forgive you, but you don't get any tea. You're right. You have to be the tea server.
Okay.
You'll serve us.
Yeah,
So-
one
This sounds
handed.
so much fun.
We'll play princes and princesses, and you'll be our waiter, our servant.
Me. And Livy will reach into her pack real quick and whip out that amazing cloak of hers. What's the dress code?
What is the cloak again? I forget.
Fashions in her.
Oh yeah, you can just you flap it on and take on this princessly looking cloak, and she gets excited about it. So at this point, she will tell you that we'll have to sneak up to her room. It's a bit of a walk, but she knows the way, and as long as you guys can be quiet.
As they walk down and whatnot as quietly as possible, Livy will, like every door that they pass, where does that go to? Where does that go
Right.
to? But not insisting to go and see, just asking along the way as they go to her room.
Yeah, where's mommy's room is the biggest question.
Oh yeah.
So let me pull up a map actually, because that'll be a nightmare to actually explain. But she's gonna start walking you around. And where did my thing go that I need? Over here. I think I can show you an image of the actual whole castle itself.
Actually,
what's up?
well, does she have a bag with her? You said.
Yeah, she does.
Is it that a bag we could fit in?
Most of you could probably easily fit into it. Yes, not all of you though. She's not that strong. I'd say Reich, you wouldn't get in probably.
Yeah.
So here I'm going to share you a picture of the actual castle, and it's pretty confusing to look at. But essentially, you're in the center of it, and that area in the front with the kind of little ballistas and basically like the aft or whatever it's called. What do they call it? The battery is where she walks you out, and in the center, that highest peak, as she brings you out to the outskirts, and you see the clouds and there's a couple of cloud giants walking around, basically manning the ballistas, standing on duty. She walks and points straight up and says that her mom's room is in the highest point of that large tower. She would say, what does she call this? The battery is where most of the guards will stay and man the ballistas. There's actually one. There's one on the level that you guys are on, and as you look up to the top, there is two mounted on a higher area, which is about 40 feet up. As she pulls you out, because you've already walked down the hallway, there is a couple of staircases that go inwards, and she brings you into another room. I'm not going to bother walking you through the whole area because it gets really confusing really quickly, but she basically brings you up to a second level of this castle. You guys are on the first, and pulls you over to the north side, which is another basically port guard, and there's more of these ballistas. So this basically just looks like a flying armored fortress. She walks you through a couple of stores, and there's these intersections, and there's moments and points where you have to be quiet. But she easily knows the guards' duties and patrols, and finally brings you up to the third level, which you're now outdoors in this kind of lawn area. There is these beautiful little pond, which looks almost like a pool size in for you guys, and a bunch of shrubberies and flowers. She says, "We're almost at my playroom. Quiet. There shouldn't be anyone else besides the Aarakocra guards, but they're pretty dumb unless my mom tells me to do anything." And tells them to do something, and you look and you see more of those Aarakocras that you've battled once before. Jacka looks particularly offended by this because it's actually just clones of him, but they're just standing basically gargoyle-like, looking out into the night. Octavius, you are particularly getting sweaty at this point and having a really hard time stabilizing yourself. You're going to need to make me a Constitution saving throw right now.
Well, you know what I'm going to do then? I'm going to make a Constitution saving throw.
Sounds like a great option.
Thank you. I thought that you would be here for that. Sorry that it's taking so long. There we go.
Hopefully better than the rest of us.
There. Sorry.
Natural 20.
Oh,
You are fine. It's just a mere flesh wound.
wait, man.
Okay. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, you buy some time. And she says, "Oh, wait, I have such a good idea." She whispers to you guys in the bag. "Do you have anything in there for me to throw? Watch this. I want to show you a cool trick." Jacka and Livian, we'll say that you were the two that couldn't fit into the bag. So you're just basically sneaking alongside of her. Just quick, give me something to throw. I want to show you guys something.
I don't have anything.
Nothing? Nobody has anything? You guys are no fun. And she frolics over to... What's that? Nothing?
No, yeah, no, I've really. He's pretty Spartan. So
Well, she frolics over to one of these bushes, and there's actually a giant tangerine bush. You've never seen tangerines this big before. And she plucks one off, and she puts the bag on the ground and says, "Sometimes when I get bored, I like to do this." And she says, "Watch." And she puts the bag down and opens, and she hucks the tangerine into the pool, and it splashes. And then suddenly this massive form of water just explodes out of the pool, takes on this humanoid shape, and then just poof, punches into the pool and grabs the tangerine and crushes it. And she just begins to laugh out loud, quite loudly. The Aarakocra begin to turn and look at you. Reich, give me a stealth check along with Jacka. The other three in the bag can do so at advantage.
Oh, Jesus.
She begins to laugh hysterically.
Whoops.
Nice. You are actually get to cancel out that disadvantage, Dan, because you're at advantage. So just roll a d20 and do a -1. Let's do a natural d20. So you fail, but the rest of the party does succeed in the group save, I think. Everybody else passed, right? Just looking really quickly.
He's somehow in the bag.
Yeah. You almost fall over yourself, basically shocked as she's laughing. The Aarakocra, momentarily, three of them spin around to look. But then when they see it's just Alistra and then a shaking bag, they don't really pay any attention. You duck behind one of the shrubbery bushes, which is plenty room for you to hide. And she looks to you guys and whispers, "Isn't that the coolest thing ever?" You look over and there's a water elemental in the pool that splashes around a couple more times violently in the pool. It doesn't look like it was too impressed by the tangerine, but she is just chuckling at it each time it splashes around.
Yeah, that was great.
Sorry, I'm getting distracted. It's tea time. You guys must be parched. And she pushes open the last door, and you basically are brought into this hallway. Southward, there's a door about 60 feet down, and then immediately as you come in, there's a door to your left and the right. She points to the left or her right side, so westward, and she says, "This is mine and Kalatar's bedroom, but over here to this room," and she goes east, is our playroom.
Where is Kalatar?
He should be sleeping by now. We don't have to worry about him as long as we play quiet, prince and princesses. Mom says that tea time is supposed to be a formal time where we use our manners and our indoor voices.
Sounds about right.
You should call me Milady because I'm a princess.
That's right, my lady.
Good. I don't know if you'll make a good prince or not. Maybe you'll be a squire boy or something. But come on in. And she pushes herself in, and basically you just see that the room is covered with toys, balls, blocks, and stuffed animals. There is a stuffed Yeti, and it's actually a real Yeti that's just been taxidermied as a stuffed animal. And just basically this table that's almost your size, and she has it all set up with a couple of stuffed animals on it. She goes and pushes the Yeti stuffed animal, actually throws it to the side with little regard, and actually its arm breaks off. She goes and grabs another like bunny and rips it off and says, here, my ladies and my lords, please have a seat. I'll get our servant boy to make us the tea. You, one-armed servant boy, fetch us some tea. We're thirsty.
Yep, I got it. Sure.
Princess?
Yes.
I know you're all a very magical princess. Is there any way you could take those handcuffs off of him? He'd be a much better server that way.
She thinks, and she says, one time when I snuck into Mom's workshop, I found this ringing stick or something like that, and I was playing with it and running around and dinging things, and when I did, I noticed that a bunch of doors unlocked.
Well, it just happens to be that I have that.
You stole my mom's dinging stick?
No, I borrowed it. A man is never quite himself without a dinging stick. I was a bit at a loss.
Well, yeah, I suppose if you have that, it should work. You'll have to give it back, though. Mom would be quite upset that you stole it.
Oh, indeed. I wanted to bring a bit of music in here to go with our tea party. You know, I can't have tea without music.
She claps. That's such a great idea. Bring it out and play.
Excellent. Because I definitely have performance. Yeah. Well, actually, not bad.
Yeah, give me a performance check, but regardless of your performance check, once you ding the chime and focus on your shackles, they unlock.
See if I can remember this. It's been a long time since I've had tea with a princess, but I think I know a song.
Yeah, what'd you roll? You rolled like a 12.
Yeah.
It's you're literally just dinging a chime, but she seems at least tickled by it. Thinks it's funny, yeah. So yeah, you can add here. I'll add it for you. Actually, a chime of opening. You just used it once though, so there's only 4 uses left of it. And I'll add that to your inventory, Warrendale, and you are now unshackled.
Do you think we'd be able to reuse those shackles?
You don't really know.
Should keep those. They're traded.
Assuming since I had these things on me, I probably left most of my gear wherever it would be because I didn't have no way to carry anything.
I just assumed that somebody else grabbed your stuff, but
Greg shoves his pack into his chest. He goes,
"Thank you, servant man, for carrying this. I appreciate it."
I'm not your servant.
Octavius will come around the corner with 6 or 7 plastic cups and a plastic teapot. And we have here Orange Picot, the greatest tea this land has ever known. I hope you all enjoy. And I'll start pouring the invisible air.
Give me a performance check.
I hope you enjoy your wonderful and amazing tea. You
can do it at advantage. Since you give an actual, you give into her shenanigans.
Please be happy. Please be happy.
You come over to her, and as you're pouring invisible air, she suddenly slams her hands on the table, and all the cups kind of shake. And she says, "You idiot servant! You spilt my tea on me! How dare you! Clean it up once!" And she's actually not necessarily like, she's just basically playing it off. Like, she's not really angry at you, but she is being a spoiled little brat and being quite loud.
Oh, my super princess lady, I will definitely clean the tea off of you, and I'll drop the teapot with my left hand because I only have one hand, and I'll grab the rag that's on my right stump, and I'll just start blotting at her dress. I am so sorry, my princess. I will pour you more tea. Yeah, more tea. So happy. I am so happy. I will pour you tea.
She shoves you away. Afterwards, "Yes, servant, you're done. Now you're embarrassing me in front of my guests." And she actually full on shoves you, rolling a actual attack on you essentially. What's your AC? She rolled a 17.
That's an 18 actually.
So she doesn't actually do any damage, but just basically like shoves you. Unless you want to resist her shove, it's not.
No, what I'd like to do though, if this is okay with you, I would like to actually play off the shove, and hopefully, through a dramatic decline, find some plush toys and hide, or fall amongst them, and then hide and vanish amongst your toys.
Yeah, so I'll say if you easily get pushed into the tea, you want to make a stealth check at disadvantage now.
Okay. I don't really want to, but I will.
Oh, you don't want to? You don't have to.
No, I will. I just don't want to. I just don't want to make the roll.
No.
You suck at it. You clearly are like just hiding in the stuffed animals, but everyone can see you plain as day. But you're content. You think you're hiding pretty well.
Sweet. Woo!
So, as she goes on, she says that when a noble princess invites her guest over, they are supposed to talk about adult things and swap stories and whatnot. What tales or information do you bring to your great cloud giant princess, Alistra?
Livy will go off on some old BS kind of nonsense, fairy tale-ish kind of like, oh, over in the Xandrit Kingdom,
Yeah, you can give me a performance check and see if you can entrance her.
Okay. Come
You're a pretty
on.
good storyteller.
Except today. Wow. She's tired. She's still beaten up.
She will actually just cut you off mid-story and say, "Your story sucks. You're not allowed to
Sorry.
be at the princess table anymore. Be gone."
Okay.
Is it nighttime right now?
Yeah, it's actually almost midnight.
Oh shit. Okay.
Excuse yourself with a curtsy and go join Tavios.
You're now a servant also. Bring us some cookies.
Well,
Yeah. Go.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
And Reich just looks at the trader as he's going to only call him, and says, "Oh, this one here, amazing stories."
heavens. Would you like to hear about the time that I whisked the princess off her feet and we flew through the stars?
She says, "You don't really look like you would be able to whisk a princess off. You kind of look dirty and
It's been
old."
a rough day. It's been a very rough day. Normally, I'm very, prim and proper.
All right.
But I mean, my hands have been behind my back. I couldn't shower, and I had to feed the griffin. It's been a horrible day.
How did you whisk
We
off
really
any
need
princess?
to sleep.
You don't look like much of a fighter. So how you can like slay anything? So what did you do to whisk the princess off?
I used my natural charm.
Charm. What's that?
You'll hear a small snicker from the stuffed animals.
Well, it's a way of words, a way of talking to people, and
Do you mean magic? My mother's a very powerful wizard.
magic's a fake way of doing it. But yes, it's oftentimes accompanied with a magic.
Magic's not fake.
Things.
My mom's really good at magic. She actually has a way to change spells and make them her own.
Well, it's okay. It's not fake, but it's cheating per se. I do it with my words instead of cheating.
Do you mean like Chisero? My mother's Castellan? He's in love with her and he constantly says nice things to her and is constantly trying to make her happy.
Yes, that's exactly what it is. A way to woo you off your feet, per se.
Well, I don't know about that. My uncle fell in. He says that Chisero's just sucking up to her and just wants to get a good position. Were you just trying to get a bit better position with the princess to make yourself look more noble?
Well, something like that. But it wasn't a good times. But we became the best of friends. We spent years together, flying through the skies on magic carpets, fighting brave beasts. It was quite the restful time. But alas, she perished. It's a sad ordeal. I miss her still this day.
Give me a performance check. 14. 14, I'll give it to you. She seems to buy it and she enjoys the story, surprisingly, and then says, "Well, your story was worthy of a prince, so I will say that you can be a prince with me. Is there anything you would like to ask your princess?"
Is there somewhere we could sleep?
"Back in your cage," she says.
I'll gladly go there.
It's getting very late. Matter of fact, I think the guards will probably be checking on you soon. Mom is working on a ritual and she's going to clone you guys. And then from there, she says that she won't have much use for you. She has a really cool new spell that she has made, like she's worked on, she said, and she has a way of changing its capabilities. It's called
Great.
Simulac something.
Simulacrum, probably. But
Yes, that's it.
that's for a shame. I was looking forward to perhaps having tea again tomorrow eve.
Well, the way I see it is she can make a clone of you, and apparently those clones will be exactly like you, but just do everything that they're told. So I guess they'll just have those clones to hang out with.
Oh, he's definitely bad at doing what he's told.
That's why it'll be good to have a clone version of him then.
But they won't have all the stories that I do.
No, they'll actually know everything that you know. That's how the spell works. My mom's a very powerful wizard after all.
Damn clones, anyway.
So, do you think you could bring us back to the cages so we could sleep, and then tomorrow we could play some more, and you could show us Mommy's bedroom?
I don't think we'll be playing tomorrow. I think by then you'll probably be dead. She just says matter of factly.
I thought we were
That's a good
friends.
point. I see.
Or
Clones are always
What?
taking all of the jobs now, you know.
what if we became your new toys and we stayed with you?
I don't think my mom would allow for that. She'd actually probably be quite upset if she knew you guys were here.
We could blame it on your brother.
You see the gears turning in her head.
Just really, the little lady, I just really need to sleep.
Go to sleep then. You're boring.
So sorry. And he. All right. I am going to cast my Radiant Soul, and the incorporeal rings come out off of my shoulders.
Nice.
And
So,
I look
right.
up at her and I go, I could be much more exciting. And I fly around the room a little bit. I get fly through a speed of 30. It only doesn't last very long.
So yeah, you sprout these these
Yeah,
like bright angelic wings or whatever.
yeah.
Okay, you begin to fly around the room. Do you want to give a performance check, or do you even care to try to amuse her?
No, I'm trying to amuse her.
Give a performance check also.
And this is not like anything that I'm good at, of course, because I'm a one-trick pony. But that's all right. Yeah. But I come and I land up over near her shoulder and I go, see, fun is just sometimes just around the corner.
Yeah, she looks at you and gives like my mom cloned a bunch of Aarakocra and they can fly too. That's not that exciting. She has a whole army of them. And it's at that point you just have your bright wings out and you hear a creak from outside in the hallway.
Oh, snaps.
And then doof, 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 the sounds of footfalls creaking across.
Dive into the fucking stuffed animals.
Yeah, no, yeah. That's exactly what I'm doing. I kind of, as the wings are maybe just a second or two left, I just kind of dive bomb right into the stuffed animals.
All right. What's everybody else doing?
Hiding with Davios.
Hiding as best we can.
Stealth check.
Would follow.
We are having an ET moment. Oh, that's not too bad. Oh no.
Let's work.
Got a 15 on Regliviant and a 7 on Warndell. An 11 for Livy.
I'm looking for a stealth here.
Yep.
Yeah.
Jacka rolled a 6.
Yeah, 15.
Livy and
Oh, why did I get a 15 again? That's weird.
Oh no.
Dan rolled a D10, a 1. What up in there?
I don't know what the fuck happened there.
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah, that is weird. And you giant translated a sigh. I'm going to incorporate it as a sigh. Yeah, so you guys all basically, none of you rolled particularly that good besides like Livian. So I imagine it's that the 4 of you all go for the same stuffed animal pile at once. And before it's too late, the door creaks open and you see her slightly older Ophis looking brother. This kind of his hair fully hasn't grown on his head yet. He has some of his children teeth fallen out, so he kind of looks like this bucktooth, like goofy looking young kid. And he pushes open the door and says, Alistair, who are you talking to in here? And then as you guys all bomb, besides Mike Livian, the stealth check, his eyes go wide with excitement as he says gleefully to his sister, "You're not supposed to be playing with these people. Mom would be very upset with you. I'm going to tell." She says, "I don't even know how they got here. They snuck up on me. They were planning to kidnap me."
Sorry. Fucking little bitch.
What do you guys do?
Run.
This is why I've never had kids.
You try to run?
I would like to try to run for the door, and I'm going to do a super deke to see if I can get around the boy.
Okay. Just because it's going to get interesting, actually, then I will actually pull up the map to give you guys at least an idea of where you are. Let me just find the map. Find the map. So, you guys are on this floor, I believe. We'll do that. And then we will do this. So, sharing the map. I'll screen share my... I guess I shouldn't screen share, actually, because then I would actually show you guys everything. But basically... One second here. As you guys all load in. And then let's do that. Okay. And I'll drag you guys all in. Fantasy Grounds is exploding on me for trying to show you guys all this at once. I don't know how big that map is for you guys, but make sure you just minimize it to appropriate size. And you guys are all in the, you have to zoom in a bit too to see your characters in the playroom, which is that one room to the right. The outdoor garden area to the north is where you guys came from. And there's some stairs over in the right-hand corner of that garden, which is where you came up.
Can I get to the garden from the playroom then?
Yep, you presumably could, but once I get the, you guys are diving in around over here. And let me get everyone in here. Right, Livian, you're the only one that successfully hided, so I'll put you away. And Jacka over here. And then Cal is the A. He's actually bigger than that. That's not how you make him bigger. And Alistra is the A. She's right in the room at the table. So, if you're going to try to
I'd like to book for outside then.
If you're going to book to break outside, that will basically cue initiative. So, roll initiative at this point.
Sorry, guys, but that's what I'm doing.
Yep.
No, I'm not mad.
I just got a 16. Shit, I gotta roll it again. I don't know. I'm gonna roll it again. Didn't stick.
Man, I am rolling horrible tonight.
Yeah.
All right. So that says your initiative. So you're in. Warrendell's in. Livia, you in?
Yeah, I should be.
Perfect. You got 21. All right. So Livy, you are the first to act then. Who knows what to do, but it looks like Octavius is getting ready to run.
Yeah. Oh. If anything, she's at least getting her sword in hand to ready in action. If the guy our brother comes at her, she will stabby stab the best she can. But yeah, she'll be ready to run too. And she's like, well, lead the way, Octavius. Okay,
so you're gonna hold your action then? All right, and what are you holding your action on?
Brother approaches.
Okay, so brother approaches, you're gonna attack. All right, got you. That puts up Reich Liviant next. You're on the other side of the room. As you look at your party, they all like dive into the same like pile of stuffed animals. You're over by a little like toy box, and no one actually notices you. But are you
All
there?
right. Well, I am going to.
Your wings are technically still out, so you actually would be like glowing brightly. But we'll say that for no reason. For some reason, they don't know.
No, I can turn it off.
You can turn it off. Nice.
Yeah. So yeah, I turn it off. And I'm going to just observe what's happening, and if they make a break for it, I'm going to do that as well.
Okay.
But at this point, I'm gonna use my ability of stealth for now.
Oh yeah, holy shit! I forgot that Fagolis is with you, but he's tiny right now. Okay, so he is a small boy. He is also there, we'll say. And that puts up Fagolis, who whispers to you, Octavius, that he could easily transform and eat these two pipsqueaks if we should do that. But,
No, let's just head outside and get ready to change. We'll need a ride.
okay.
We're gonna head to the mother's room.
On to you then. He's going to start breaking for it, and he will try to shove the kid. And even though he doesn't look like it, he's actually incredibly strong. He rolls a 26, and Kaltar says, "You're not going anywhere, you little rodent." And Fagolis comes and says, I think I will, and just shoulders into him and just poof, right into the gut. The kid is completely shocked by this little halfling strength and just shoved against the brace inside the doorway. And
Can't we run out the room at 1 o'clock instead of going out the door at 9 o'clock?
That's a big window. Sorry,
Oh,
I guess you could have found out that if you want. That window is 20 feet up though.
Oh, never mind then.
All right, so yeah, he books it out and begins to wait out in the
hall. As soon as he starts running, I follow.
All right. You'll have to go through the two kids though. So how do you want to handle that?
Me?
No. Or yeah, sorry. We'll put it onto Octavius now, since technically you can't hold your movement to move. If you knew that, Corey, would you have changed your action? Because you can't hold an action to move.
Yeah, I can't hold an action to move. I forget about that. I could hold an. Can I hold an action? Well, I can hold an action to dash.
I'll say if anything. I'll say if anything, you can moor yourself into the. Can you? Maybe. I'll give it to you. Whatever. I don't care. Do you want to dash right now?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I guess you can't to move, so like it doesn't make any sense. No, I guess I'm just holding until I see the break.
All right, you're holding. Octavius, Constitution saving throw.
Well, fine, be that way.
What did you roll?
Roll a 2. What is 4?
4?
Yeah.
You take a point of exhaustion now, as
right.
It is getting. You definitely need to give that severed arm some more attention, but you don't lose your turn just yet.
I will follow Fagolis out the door, yelling, "Be safe! We come. We need to go. Sorry, princess. I will be back to serve tea in a second."
All right, you book it. Gotcha. That puts up next Kaltar, and as he gets crushed into the gut and then picks himself up, you see these giant tears well up in his eyes, and he lets out a bloody murder scream of a child who's just been mortally wounded, but you just see that there's a little scrape on his belly or whatever, and he begins to holler, at which point he will pick himself up and scream to Alistra that she's going to get in so much trouble for letting these prisoners escape. And he is going to try to... Who's he going to go after? I don't think he's going to go after for the little halfling because he's a big apparently really strong. So that's going to be between Warrendale, Reich Liviant, Livy, or Jacka. I'm going to roll a d4. And unfortunately, it is you, Warrendale. You look much more of an appetizing opponent for him. And he is going to run over to you and try to punch you. He actually picks up a wooden toy and tries to hit you with it. This big bludgeoning like fake sword, and comes swinging it at you. He rolls a 7 and misses though. That puts you up next, Warrendale. As you fall out of the way, he slams his wooden sword into a stuffed animal, basically blowing it into feathers. Feathers now flying around the room. All hell is breaking loose as he's continuing to scream. It looks like Alistra, caught up in the motion, is going to scream also. And what are you going to do?
I'm still in this pile of large toys here. Warrendale quickly moved to the side as he sees this huge wooden thing come down and sort of makes this waving gesture at the kid. I'm just going to do dancing lights in his face, basically just to try and distract him so that I disengage and try to hide amongst the things with a little bit more until I can get an opening to get out of here.
Okay.
Skills.
So I'll say that, yeah, if you cast Dancing Lights on him, give me an Arcana check really quick.
Arcana. Someday I'll roll above a 4 today.
So I was going to say if you could roll high enough that you would have been able to just not need the disengage action. But with that, the lights do bother him. But if you disengage him right now without disengaging, you'll take a smack for sure.
Yeah, I wanted to disengage and hopefully just kind of disappear into this pile of stuffed animals.
Okay. Did you use your sorcery points to cast Dancing Light as a bonus action?
I don't believe I can, to be honest. I believe, maybe I actually could.
Because if you do that, then you still have a disengage action. But since you cast it, if you're not...
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'll do. I'll use a couple. So I need to get out of the way, otherwise I'm going to get crushed. So yeah, I got a couple left. I'll use those and then disengage.
All right, so where do you want to go? You can use the map for this.
Bury myself into these stuffed animals.
All right, I'll say that you do so. That's it for your turn?
Yeah, I don't have nothing else I can do. Yeah.
All right, Jacka, being up, yells out in a battle cry that he's had it with these spoiled little brats, and he is just going to try to straight up attack Kaltar. Just fuck it. And he will hit and just basically claws into Kaltar's face. Not doing a whole whack load of damage, only 5. But he is not impressed by that nonetheless. Kaltar drops to the ground, actually unconscious.
Really?
Wow.
And then Jacka says that I will make all of these giants pay for what they've done. And he kind of seems like he's caught up in a moment now. He's actually standing over Kaltar menacingly, unless someone says something to him, but that ends his turn. Alistra, seeing her brother go down unconscious, lets out another bone-wrenching scream, and she is going to basically dash this way, moving 30, and then another 30 feet, pushes open the door. Top of the initiative brings us back to Livy.
Who, seeing brother unconscious or whatever, is going to kind of been that careful, go around, and sister ran out the door, so she'll kind of go out and look the direction she went. With that, I'm pretty sure it doesn't indicate that she went towards mom's room, but
You have very little way of telling.
Alright,
You
cool.
don't know too much about the innards of this castle. You basically have only been brought around the outskirts and then up into this third level. Besides what you see, this is the only bit of third level you've explored.
Well, she's gonna follow Tavius and Copperhead friend.
All right. You do so. Obviously have your weapon ready. What is that puts us up to Reykliviant?
Yeah, I bust out of my area.
Okay.
And I don't know. I can move. If I dash, I can move 80 feet. So I move. I move to here, which looks like 40. Yeah.
Yep.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, 8. And go. So we're getting out of here, but we gotta get the stone.
If we take Saul up to the mother's bedroom, we can search for the conch and get out of here.
Yeah. And yeah, I'll continue to move outside. Well, he can't do all that dragging stuff in here. So yeah, and I run outside to here.
You go
Or
outside?
Yeah.
All right. When you get outside, you see that the water elemental is basically formed up in like this kind of water guardian stance. And then also the Aarakocra on guard are now there also. And let me, oh God, I just did something terrible. 1 second here. Zoom this out a bit. They heard the scream for the record. They're not just magically waiting for
Yeah.
Okay. But that will end that for now, and I will crash Fantasy Grounds as I try to do too much. But next up in the initiative will be... Let's get rid of him. That'll just make it easier.
It'd be Fergus.
Yes, I just want to make sure that none of the Aarakocra are up, which I don't think they are. But this guy might actually be... Yeah, he's up. So one of the Aarakocra will actually begin to fly his 30 feet. And that's all he does. The water elemental will move his 30 feet towards you and actually be able to make it to you. Unfortunately, which is probably pretty bad news for you.
Well, but he moved before I was there. Then
He was in the pond, basically just like swimming around. And then when you heard the scream, basically the place starts to go onto the defense.
okay, yeah, no, that's totally cool. So then that means that, yeah. So he would have met me at the door. I'd be like, oh fuck.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
I will say up to you whether you thought you were flying high or not. Actually, I'll leave it to you because you do have wings, right? You said you were flying.
No, that would have been gone. Only last a minute.
All right. It will try to basically overwhelm you then. As it comes into your space, give me a strength saving throw.
Okay. Fortunately, I'm not raging, so I don't get advantage, but that's not great.
No, it is not great. It basically engulfs you, and you now become grappled by the water elemental, but also take 15 damage.
That's gonna drop me.
That drops you unconscious. You are now unconscious inside the water elemental. Next up is 2 more of the Aarakocra, and they are going to basically just fly close to see what's going on. One there, and one there. For weapons, let's see if they actually have any range on them. I think they do, but they're not going to actually attack just yet. They have a javelin that they can throw, but they're holding on to them for now until they get closer and see more. Next up is Fagolis. He looks to you, Octavius, and says, it seems that we've put the place on alert. We need to get out of here fast. And he will run out. And do you say anything to him?
Let's go.
He runs out and sees the water elemental grabbing on to you. Liviant, and he says, "Hey, that doesn't belong to you," and will basically. He's not going to transform yet. Actually, he's going to stay in his form and punch this thing twice. Surprisingly, rolling abysmal as he didn't roll higher than 18, 17. That might still hit, actually. I think it does.
That seems to be it.
Yeah, that does hit. So he will reach in and try to grab. He's just going to punch the thing twice. As he does punch into the creature, it seems to resist the attack a bit, so he doesn't take as much damage as he would have hoped, to which Fagola says, "Oh, so you like to play tough then? I guess I'll have to try a little harder." And next up is... Where are you? You're not the person who's up. Get out of here. Next up will be Octavius.
All right. So Octavius is going to follow Fagolas and run through the door. When he gets to the door, he's going to see Rick Livian's body suspended in the water elemental. And with all the energy that he could possibly muster, Octavius is going to throw his body as hard as he possibly can into the water elemental, hopefully dislodging Rick Livian's body and replacing it with his own, or even possibly knocking us both out of the water elemental.
All right.
What you want an attack for that, or what do you want?
Sounds to me like an athletics thing, unless you have a better idea.
No, athletics would be fine. Bam.
That's definitely not going to do it, but I will remind you that you all should have inspiration.
As Octavius stumbles on a rock on his way, he remembers all of the things that he has already done for his friends. And as he looks down to his stump, he says, "What's one more?" And again, something inside of him starts to well. He believes it's the power of Ilmater, as he hopefully rolls much better than that. That was a 15. Did it show up? Show up on the screen. Damn it.
Didn't show up. I will make it a contest, though. So you're basically just trying to outpower this water elemental. 15. The water elemental unfortunately rolled a 16. I shit you not.
All right. Well, if it was actually... Yeah, all right. Whatever. So I'm still trying to do my best to grapple this thing in.
Absolutely. All right. So yeah, you come charging into it. It bats you away as you just basically try to like reach into like a tsunami like force of water flowing around. As you see like Liviant being tossed around in it, you try to posture up again, but you're so exhausted from blood loss, you can't break the defense of this thing. You feel a bit helpless as you can't help a friend. Next up is another Aarakocra, as even more of them basically seem to be showing up. There is a total of 4 now that you can see in the garden. And you hear the sounds of bells being rung and the sound of alarm as you hear voices calling out, "To arms! Intruders!" Next up is... another one of these Aarakocra. It will fly up. Where are you? Number 6. He's the one that just went. I lied. Kaltar, unconscious. You're not there. Warrendell, what are you doing?
Rummaging amongst all of these stuffed animals. Warren will reach into his pack, jostles about looking for something and finds it. Pulls it out, shoves it down as close to the floor as he can, and gives it a stomp. You all can smell. Oh, who's in the room with me? Just Jacka, looks like. So he will smell what looks to be some sort of oil. Yeah, I'm going to smash my flask of oil. Actually, I got 2 of them. I was going to do 1, though. And then get the hell out of there, but cast a firebolt on this oil in this massive pile of stuffed animals on my way out.
Okay. Trying to light the place on fire?
Yep.
Nice. With the dead or unconscious giant boy in the room?
Hey, he's not my problem.
I like it.
He tried to hit me with a sword. I'm just returning the favor. I don't know if you need any rolls or anything because
Nope, I'll say that's fine.
So
There's really
No.
just that massive pile. I'm just gonna light the thing on fire and then move my 30 feet as far away as I can get out that basically out there towards Livy.
All right. Yeah, you can get there for sure, no problem. You can get farther than Livy if you want.
No, I'll just stay next to her for the moment. The other flask is in hand, but I'm not gonna do anything with it yet.
Good. Things that you can't see begin to go on. And
Matt, is that door open? Can I see them out there wrestling with the thing?
yep, definitely.
Okay.
Jacka will no one did anything, so he'll just straight up kill the kid. And then say to himself, I will make your whole family suffer, Sansari, like you did to mine. And head out into the next room and get ready to use his 30 feet. Next up is top of the round, Livy. You see Liviant being swallowed by this water elemental. You see in halfling form, Fagolis and Octavios basically trying to get Liviant out. What do you do?
She will rush up. And then I don't think right there she'd be able to see Aarakocra coming, right?
Yeah, as you look out, you would see that there's at least 4 Aarakocra heading towards you guys, basically with javelins in hand.
Oh, lovely. Drops her rapier and whoop whoop, Maiden pow pow.
All right, which one do you want?
We'll do the one closest to her right now, or at least from what I can see.
Yep.
Is closest.
Gotcha. Go ahead and roll an attack.
Yeah. So we're gonna do 1. Oh, there we go. And 2.
Hit.
So both of them.
Yep.
Yeah. There's 1 damage, and this is what we're doing lightning.
All right. So
Piercing lightning damage.
I will let you know that the first bolt kills the one closest to you.
Oh,
One
snap.
shot. They just shatters into a million pieces of ice.
I guess if I don't know if she'd be able to hit the one around the corner.
Let's see. What's the range on Maiden's Garden?
Probably like 120.
120. Yeah, there's within 70. Yeah, one straight ahead.
Yeah, I'll go for that one if it's in range.
Yep, definitely.
The 27 to hit and 10 points of damage.
And that will also explode that guy into a million pieces as soon as you hit.
Ooh, she is feeling on fire.
Anything else?
Nope, because nope.
All right. This one will then fly up 30 feet and do a javelin attack finally. It's just going to be launched at you, Livy, since you took out the friendos. 20 to hit.
Ouch.
And it does a total of 8 damage. I already did the damage to you, though.
Dang it.
You're not feeling too hot.
I'm pretty sure I'm knocked out.
Nope, you're alive.
With
I did the 49. I did the damage to you already afterwards. So 49 is what you're currently at. You were at 41. Unless you disagree, but you were at 41 before I dragged the damage onto you.
You're fine.
Okay. Next up, the interesting. He recharges his whelm attack. So he will try to whelm all of you. Octavios, as you're trying to get in on this guy, he will be more than happy to let you in on his space now, as I need each of you to make a strength saving throw.
This is bullshit rolls, man.
It really is.
Bullshit rolls.
All right. Fagolas is not going in, but you two are going in. And now you might be unconscious, Livy. As you take 17 points of damage each.
Did you put that on me, or do I need to put it on myself?
I'll put it on you both, just because it's easier for me. 17.
Ooh,
You're now-
TPK. TPK.
Screw that shit.
Livy, now unconscious. More of the Aarakocras are going to fly over. One hucks one at Fagolas, missing utterly. Liviant, death saving throw. Let me know if you rolled it, because I do not see it.
That's not sure she heard you.
What's that?
Mary.
Did it roll?
I need to make that saving throw right now?
No, Liviant.
Okay.
Oh, right? Oh, I thought that was on her. Sorry.
No worries.
Yeah, no, I got you right now. Hold on 1 second. Ooh,
One
I made it.
success. Next up is Fagolas as he looks to you all getting engulfed. And more people starting to show up. He says, well, it looks like they're getting quite angry. I think it's time for us to leave. And he begins to transform into his enormous copper dragon form. At which point he will do this. Taking in a deep breath, he exhales what I can only describe as like a shock wave of energy coming from his mouth that slams into the water elemental. The water elemental tries to make a saving throw and fails. So it is just blasted away 60 feet, actually. Holy shit. And I will say that as he does it, it actually drops all of you in it from him and just blasts him away. Basically 60 feet is into the side of the wall where the stairs are. He splashes into a million different pieces and then re-picks up his form. And he quickly looks to you all and says, you all look rather beat. Time to get away. And he will scoop up with one arm, Liviant. And that's all he can do on his turn. Actually, I'll say since he's a pretty badass dragon, he can get two of you on his back. Livy, since you're both unconscious, are on Fagolas's back. Next up is Octavios. Give me a Constitution saving throw.
You just love that word, don't you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're the one that cut off your hand.
You're the one that got off.
Yeah, an 11.
So it's at this point that you take a second point of exhaustion. And at this point, you just hear a ringing in your ear. And it's like that, almost like you've been shocked by lightning. You have 0 movement right now on this turn. And you know that
I will laugh. You'll hear a laugh come out of Octavius's body.
You suspect that it's basically time for you to pay your tribute midnight to Ilmater. And all these lashings that you were remembering not too long ago, quelling up to the night when the moon is highest in the sky, right at midnight, when the burden of Ilmater's ring retches out and causes the most unimaginable pain to you, bringing you close to the brink of death each time. And you know that this is just seconds away from happening now. But you try to control yourself. Your movement is lost, 2 points of exhaustion. Next up is Warrendale. You see the dragon just repulsion breath away the water elemental. You see a bunch of Aarakocra throwing javelins at it now and not doing too much to bother it, and you see Octavios just standing there, grabbing onto his arm and just basically almost buckling under his weight. What do you do, Orndell?
I'm muted. What about the door down at the bottom where the girl ran? Is that closed or open?
Open.
Do I see her still running anywhere, or
She's super gone, but what you can see probably from the distance is basically like a large cabinet and maybe a table inside and maybe like the outskirts of a chair.
okay? Does Dogolus look like he can carry Octavius as well?
Yeah, he's I believe he's huge. I think he can carry Octavius no problem.
All right, so I'll let him deal with him. I will hurl my last bottle of oil down there towards that door and do a fireball on that to try and get a flame going down there to at least buy some time. Would that just be one action?
Yep.
Okay, and then with that move, my 30 feet out. What do I got for hit points? Maybe not. I will go out by Felgolis for the moment.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just right on top of him?
But yeah, basically like right there in the doorway.
Okay. Let me pull up him because he can do other crazy shit. Option. He will use a legendary action to detect, to which he tells you he hears more cloud giants coming up the stairs, as he has a crazy basically perception check for free off turn, warning you that more people are coming. What's that?
Jaga? Or Fergolis?
For Golis, use a legendary action in your guys' favor to tell you that reinforcements is coming up the stairs the way you guys were escorted up here. Warrendell, where the hell are we on initiative? Jaka will basically come up to you, Octavios, and put his arms around you and say, "Now is not the time to freeze up, my friend. Now is the time for war." And basically try to help you. He doesn't have really much for a ranged weapon, so he's kind of screwed. Livy, another one fail. I swear, one of these encounters, I will not knock you unconscious. I promise.
All good.
The Aarakocra will fly up. He's already thrown his javelin, so he is forced to come into melee, and he is going to try to attack you with his talons. Octavios, 21 to hit. And unless you do something to stop that, he will hit you.
No, I got nothing to stop that.
All right. I've done the damage to you. 5 as he comes. You're just standing there trying to keep your consciousness. You hear the shrieking of birds, which is kind of melding to the ringing of pain in your ears also. Then you come to vision and see this bird just raking across your face. Next up is the water elemental, who will pick itself back up and begin sloshing its way over to you. Being pushed away 60 feet, though, going to take his full movement to get over to you guys. And he can move 30 feet, so how far away is he? Give me that measurement. He cannot actually get back to you guys in one turn, even with a dash. There we go. Another Aarakocra is going to basically get in close, but it's at this point that Pagos will use his legendary action to tail whip and just basically crush that guy, killing him off. Right, Liviant, death saving throw. Two successes. You're almost stabilized. Who took all the other goods in the room anyways? No one actually really claimed the stuff, but I'm assuming you all took the vials and whatnot, right?
Yeah.
Who has them?
I don't know. I got the plants and everything. I was over into the stuff.
You got everything you said?
Oh, but yeah, because they went in the rope trick thing. You know what I mean? I just took all that stuff.
Okay. Next up, Fagolis. He will say, "All right, I can take one more of you. Who's coming aboard?"
I will look at Warren and say, "Go, leave me. I'm no use to you anymore."
No, you go. I can get myself out of here. Grab him, Fergolis. Get out of here. I'll be right behind.
All right, I'll grab him then, and he's going to try to grab you, Octavios.
I'll accept it.
All right, you are on Fagolis's back. He says, "Who's aboard the one-way ticket to get the fuck out of here?"
We should go up to the Chicka room. I can't remember her name right now. My brain's too foggy. But we should go to her room. There's something we need to get first. Is that one? The daughter pointed it out on the way in.
He says, "What on earth could possibly be worth your life?"
We need the conch. We need the conch. And I'm slipping away.
All
We need the
right.
conch.
All right. Everybody else aboard is unconscious, so there's really no one to argue him. He'll
That's great.
he will say,
Wonderful.
"What's up,
Where-
Warndell?"
Ouch.
You don't really know, but you
So-
what Octavios is going on is that Sansari's room is on the peak of this tower.
And that she said she was putting in a room.
Right?
She did. She
Yeah.
did say that she was putting the
Yeah,
conch in her bedroom.
She said that she was taking the chest and putting it in a room.
Is
It's too
that
dangerous to put them together.
like up above me?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
All right. With a powerful thrust, Fagolis takes flight, and he probably has a pretty quick fly speed, doesn't he? Let's see. 80 feet. Jesus. Yeah, he gets up pretty quick. And he basically flies you to the next level easily, level 4 of this tower, which opens up into. So the tower, if you remember the picture, is basically 3 towers stacked on top of each other, with the one in the middle being the highest point, which reaches up to like this most peak. He brings you to the 4th level, which is another central part of this 3-form tower, and there basically is the peak in the center of it, and then off to the side is another peak tower, which is where Sansari's room should be. There's no is there windows to it? You don't really know where exactly, but as you fly up to the 4th level and the end of his movement, you see that you're on another garden area basically, and I will pull up another map just for you guys to see. But next up, while we're waiting for that to happen, is Octavios. You're on the back of Fagolis with your 2 friends unconscious. Unfortunately for me, though, my friend, you need to make another Constitution saving throw for me, as you're in deep trouble now for cutting off your limb.
So I already have 2 points of exhaustion. So doesn't that give me disability on saving throws?
So what 2nd point of exhaustion does to you? Let me find it. I always forget this. Is conditions right here. I know that you have disadvantage on ability checks, and I think point 2 is your speed is halved. So you have disadvantage on ability checks, and your speed is halved right now. Nothing
All right.
major yet. It's the next one where things start to get really bad.
So here's my con save then. The amazing and awesome con save.
Okay. I'm gonna just throw it out there that you have a point of inspiration.
I've already used that.
Did you?
Yeah.
He's rolling as well as I am tonight.
All right.
I have one. I'll give it to him.
Give it to him. Well, if you wish to take another person's inspirations, feel free to do so.
Since Livy's passed out in front of me, I'm gonna put my hand on her and be like, "I'm stealing your inspiration."
I love it.
Does he? What is this? Does he need to save this?
Basically, this is even you can't do anything about it anyways. You can't inspiration twice.
Oh my good God.
You're at 3 points of exhaustion now, Octavios.
Mm-hmm.
And
What's that mean, Chris? What is that? What's the third level of?
I would be more than happy to tell you, my friend. Let me
Thank you.
just
Thank you.
get back to you on that. The third
Okay.
point of exhaustion is disadvantage on attack rolls and saving throws now. So this is where it starts to get shitty.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Next up, and you're still unfortunately
I'm paralyzed still.
yeah, you're still paralyzed.
Oh, that's fantastic.
You really should but as you look at the new map that I pulled out, basically this garden area, and then there's the center tower peak. The one off to the southeast is presumably the highest peak. So somewhere in that would be Saint-Cyrie's room. You don't know where, but as you get to this room though, this level, the fourth level, you see that there's even more Aarakocras on this level getting ready to descend down upon you. There's actually 6 in total here, to which Phagolus looks like he's going to start to try to deal with. Next up is Warrendell. You are left on level 3 by yourself with Jacka and a couple of Aarakocra and a water elemental, which is going to be on you really soon.
That's all right. How far up do I got to go to get to the next level?
80 feet.
Okay. I can do that. So I can do levitate as a free or a bonus action.
Okay.
I'll use that as my bonus action. Okay. I can get 60, and then I'll just dash. I guess I don't know. I guess dash levitate, whatever you want to call it, up at least 60 feet. I can't do any more than that at the moment.
Okay.
Dash it.
Yeah, there's no other way. Yeah, that's what I'll do. I'll just dash up 60 feet for the moment. And yeah, that's it.
All right. You are at least out of the main fray. Dashing up. You're not quite there yet, though. We'll just put you off to the side right now to remember that. It's at this point that a cloud giant bursts through the door, and you see a couple more behind him. He is going to move his 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 feet. And does he have for range? I'm sure he has something. Let me see if you're unlucky. He sees you flying up, actually, and he will cast Fly on himself, which cloud giants can apparently do. And he is going to get ready to fly after you. That ends his turn. Jaka is going to fly at him in a rage and begin to try to attack. He misses on the first one. Not like this, Jaka. You can do it. And hits on the second. In the grand scheme of things, though, not really doing too much damage to the giant. As he goes and starts clawing into his knees as the giant begins to fly. You see that Jaka's badly tortured wings, he struggles to even get up in the air, and he has to actually basically thrust himself up and then latch onto the giant to hang on for dear life because he doesn't have flight per se as he just glides. Livy, how many death saves are you at? Was that 1 success, 1 fail?
Yep.
All right. Chaos. The Aarakocras I'm going to start lumping together in one go now because there's a lot of them on the field. 3 of them are going to attack or 2 of them are going to fly down and grab their javelins and begin flying back up towards you, Warrendell. One of them is going to engage with Jaka and miss him. And the other 6 are going to attack Phagolus, which one of them ends up getting through. Is he not actually resistant to that? That's interesting.
Even though I am like having a hard time right now, can I still use the power of the ring to take that hit from Phagolus?
As a reaction, yeah, you definitely can.
Then I will.
All right. You
Eh.
take 3 points of damage as he says, "What are you doing, you fool? You're badly injured.
You're my
I can handle
friend. You're my friend.
I like my friends alive, not dead. Stop this
Ah.
foolishness."
So then Fagolas took no damage, right?
Yeah, Fagolas took no damage, even though Dan already basically fully healed him, so he's a fully healed dragon, but it's okay. You got him. The water elemental is basically rendered useless now, as you guys are all taken to the air. Another cloud giant comes out and casts fly on himself, and he is going to get ready to fight you guys IRL as it gets bad. Do. All right, Rycliviant, death saving throw, 1 success away from being stabilized. There you go. Stabilize and unconscious for total of 4 hours unless someone heals you.
Mm-hmm.
Fagolas is going to first use his frightful presence on the Aarakocras, which frightens all except one. And
That
then,
one dude, man, he is serious.
what's that?
That one dude is serious.
Yeah, he wants to fight. And then he will yell to you, Octavius, "Where are we going?" And bringing back the map of you, he will fly presumably 80 feet, which brings you roughly to over here. There's this central tower, which basically ends about 10 feet high. And then off to the southeast is the second tower, which climbs up about another 60 feet. It seems like there's still 2 more levels to it, a 5th and 6th level. What do you command him to do?
Shit. I'll point to the one that best represents what I saw the young princess girl point to, and I'll say go there.
Okay. So he will, as a legendary action, move and bring himself here. And he says, "Would you wish to walk or shall I fly you up?" And looking, there seems to be there is 1 window on each level, the 5th and 6th level.
I'll start on the 6th level, and I'll fly me up, please. We'll go to the top.
All right. Octavius, you're now up. You know the deal. Con saving throw. At disadvantage now.
Oh, you son of a bitch. Warren! Warren, where are you?
Oof, that's really bad.
Oh my god, this is so bad.
So, with a natural 1,
Can I also am I allowed to do anything yet? Can I please do something soon?
the time to do stuff was like, what do you want to do?
I want to just mass healing word.
Yeah. See, remember all those times when I was like, "Hey, your hand cutting off needs some attention, and it's gonna really suck soon."
Remember
and
when I was like, "Hey, I'm gonna burn and cauterize my hand," and you were like, "Yeah, cure wounds will do it." So I did it, and you were like, "That's cool."
And I said it was a temporary fix.
Yeah.
Probably should have addressed it. Turns out cutting your hand off, not the best idea.
I'm good.
That puts you at the 5th point of exhaustion. Your hit points max are halved now.
Okay.
And you have 0 movement. I will, however, be benevolent and at least let you have an action. What do you wish to do?
I don't even care about myself, man. I just want to heal like Livy and Liviant with mass healing word.
Okay. Then go ahead and do so.
Yeah, like I don't care about the rest of it. There you go, guys. 7 points of healing each.
7 points of healing
Yay!
as you guys become conscious, at least.
Here, give it to us, buddy.
go ahead and deduce that for yourselves. Take away 7 from whatever you're at. And Libby and Livy, you come to consciousness feeling a familiar warmth of Octavios's healing energy. But as you look over to him, he looks absolutely horrendous. His stubby arm is now completely starting to bleed through. He's pale in the face. He looks ghostly white, and he basically just falls over on himself and looks like he's literally dying. That ends his turn. Where is she in the grand scheme of things? This is where it gets really interesting. This might be like the worst timing ever. He's up a level. At least he's at the 5th level. Let's see if she notices. Ugh. You guys are going to hate me. It's going to get so bad for you. Okay.
Let's just go.
Wow. This is so good.
You see, actually, I don't even know if you see it. Give me a perception check. The 3 of you.
What? Can I see anything?
I'll give you at least a chance.
All right. Well, I got disadvantage on that, I think. So.
Yeah, you have disadvantage.
Oh, the first time I friggin' do good.
All right, perfect. As you all are looking up at the 6th window, you see a cloud of gas begin to leak out of it. A pretty sizable amount of gas. And that's all I will say.
I think we're gonna die.
Warrendale, you're 60 feet up. You see that there's some giants flying after you. And you've lost track of your friends, but you know they're above you.
Man. So I gotta go another 20 feet up to get over the ledge. And oh, this is way the hell ahead of me.
Yeah, he moves pretty quick. If you dash, though, isn't your speed 120?
No, because I'm only levitating. I'm not flying.
Oh, shit. And what do you fly to levitate speed?
Levitate speed is just a traditional, whatever it is. So in my case, 30.
Yeah, you're much slower then.
Yeah. Which is I gotta outrun those guys too. I can tell they're gonna be 60, so 60. All right, they won't be able to reach me this turn, but they'll be right behind me. Well, that's a shit. That's an action. I need more bonus actions. I guess I'm just gonna dash once more. Take the thing. Can you? You can't set up a held action with a dash, can you? No, you can't. So yes, I will dash up and over the ledge, and assuming I can see where Arphagolas is, at least start dashing towards him.
Give me I'll just give it to you. Yeah, he's a high. I was gonna say he's obstructed by this tower in the center, but the tower only raises another 20 feet, and he's actually another full level above. So I will. That's actually a pretty long sight, though. Give me a perception check. Unfortunately, that's 150 feet away.
Oh, okay. Damn, I didn't think it was that far at me. Let's see. That's perception. 12.
Yeah, I'll give it to you. You see him. He is 155 feet away and up on the next level, heading towards the tower. You also see a puff of noxious smoke basically coming out of the 6th tower above them. Anything else?
Okay, is where this is right here is either side of the building out into air. Like if I fall, will I go off of the castle or would I just hit another lower level? You know what I'm saying?
So as long as you're north, south, or west, you would fall to another level.
North, south,
actually,
west. Okay.
All 4 of your directions, north, south, east, and west. As long as you fall directly like
Down.
that, then you're fine. If you fall on any angle, like a southwest or a southeast or a northeast, you'll fall to your death.
that is what I want to do, is fall where there is not a castle that I want to be able to fall and not land on a courtyard or something. But I'm going to kind of angle it up, at least get as far as I can towards.
Yeah. So you actually, in terms of where you would have came up around here. And then if you get to either like an in-between direction, then you can fall all the way down for sure.
Okay.
All right. Understand what I'm saying?
Yep. I'll just keep dashing upwards then, because I should have one more turn before they can at least reach me in melee, and then I'll decide on that next turn. So yeah.
Yep. So the cloud giants flying up against you, they fly really quick. They are definitely on the same level as you, but at least a distance away. They can't get on you like you are guessing, but they will be on you next turn. Jaka, actually, this one's not going to dash because Jaka's on it. So he's going to instead move just to 60 feet, which doesn't even quite put him. You can see him below, but then he's going to use his other action to, or his actual action to punch, and I'm going to guess probably end Jaka's life. 1 hit. 2 hits. Yeah, Jaka is turned into Easter turkey. Knocked unconscious, and just 2 strikes, obviously. These guys hit like trucks with their morning stars. So he doesn't get actually up there because he had to deal with him. And then the other one, I actually forgot to move earlier in the initiative because there's so many of them just coming out now. He does get to take a full dash, and he is up there with you, but not in melee with you. So they're hot on your trail for sure, because when they can dash fly, they move 120, which is quicker than you're moving.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Livy, you're back to the land of the living. I apologize.
Ow.
I apologize.
She's probably gathering her bearings and making sure she doesn't fall off this dragon.
Yep, you don't have to do that as an action or anything.
Cool. She'd probably also like, where are we? Is everything done? Because I don't know if there's any immediate threat right there, other than she's on the back of the dragon.
Don't have conch. Yeah.
I wish I had a healing potion for you. But I don't. Then yeah, that and conch in her days kind of are they are at the tower now, right?
They're at the tower. You just have basically another, well, like depending on where her room is in this tower, it might turn into a guessing game, or you might get luck. Octavios commanded him to go to the very top and start at the top.
Is there a window there?
Yes, there is.
All right, she's looking through that.
That is where the gas is coming out of.
All right.
You can give me a perception check on your turn for free, actually.
Yeah, look at all the gas. It's like,
Yeah, just some gas coming on out. You guys roll tonight.
I get that this conch is really important, but I don't think that's the room, or at least if it is, I'm not going in.
There's Aarakocra is currently running away, and one still engaged with Fagolis if you want to do something. Otherwise, if you want to do anything else in terms of movement or spells or something, let me know. But there is things to attack if you wish to.
Okay, cool. Yeah, if there's, especially if there's an Aarakocra engaged with Fagolis, as she's, again, just taking everything and is like, oh, shoot. Pew, pew. As she instinctively... She actually probably needs to summon her, because unconscious, not holding it, got picked up.
Yeah. Is that an action or a bonus action? It's a bonus action, isn't it?
It is a bonus action. Awesome. I will make an attack, but I think it's an action to summon it.
Okay.
And so should be prepared for next turn at least.
Yeah. Are you sure though? Because I feel like I questioned you about this before and you super proved me wrong. Let me just read it. Because I thought I told you it was an action, and you're like, I remember it being a bonus action.
Hold an action then.
Yep, you can. It's a bonus action. You can summon it as a bonus action.
Sweet. You found it first. Excellent. Then, does that will that still give me my 2 attacks or just the 1?
Yep, 2 attacks.
Awesome. Oops.
Double hits. Both hits.
All right. Awesome.
Or wait, I only rolled once, but I seen 2 dice, and it was a 15 and a 16.
So if I'm getting a +10, though, it'd be a 25 and a 20.
Yep. Both hits. They have low ACs. You
10 and 8 for lightning damage.
quickly fire off the one that's shrieking and coming in at Fagola as you land a bow right into its beak. It shatters into a million pieces. You see one getting ready to fly over the ledge and descend down, quickly spinning around. You turn your arm and shoot in the other direction, shattering it into a million pieces, taking these guys off one shot at a time like they're nothing.
Okay. Awesome.
All right. So I realized some pretty bad news, and that's kind of my fault for giving the illusion, but I missed the one cloud giant in the initiative before, but he's up now, Warrendell, so he's actually going to be on you beforehand. Although I get that would you have changed your strategy if you knew that he was going to be on you? There's really nothing you can do, right?
Well, if I knew that I was going to use my, I still have Misty Steps to get the 30 feet away.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's cool. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, that's my bad. Sorry for missing him in the initiative. He will come upon you then and try to Morningstar you. This might be a TPK. 15 to hit.
Does not. Wait. 13 for, no, it does not. I'm at 16 at the moment.
28 to hit.
That does.
All right. He will slam into you then and deal total of 21 damage.
Okay.
He's now on top of you. You almost have your lights shook in one turn. The Aarakocras that are still alive are spending their time flying away. The bells are ringing of alert. Like Liviant, you're still up. I will say, just because I don't know if you're just... When Livy says, I wish I had a healing potion, you kind of flash back to collecting the vials in the room and realize that you have like 6 vials of random shit on you. You haven't really inspected them, I'm going to say. But I recently, why I said looked up the magic items thing, is read today that if you literally taste a potion, you know what it is, which I did not know.
Oh. Well, are any of them recognizable? You know, I've seen a healing potion before.
Give me a quick investigation check for free. In the heat of the moment, it might be a hard thing to discern.
Nah.
You don't. So you have 6 potions. If you wanted to just chug one, I'll let you roll 1d6 and I'll lumber them. And you tell me.
Yeah, because there's nothing around to attack, right?
Not in immediate, no.
No. So yeah, I'm gonna do that.
All right. Roll a 1d6 and re-roll on actually no, just roll 1d6 is exactly the right amount. 4. You're really lucky. It's a superior healing potion. I'm not even kidding. 8d4 plus 8 healing towards you.
8d4?
Yeah. You're lucky.
What do I do?
8d4.
No.
You want me to roll it or do you want to roll it?
No. Wait. I don't care.
Yeah, go for it. You roll it then. I have other things to do. Anything else you do on your turn?
Oops. Stop. No. Okay.
I will say that now that you've drank one, you realize that 4 potions look exactly the same and one does not. You drank one of the ones that look the same. You went with quantity over quality. So the other 4 you can presume are also healing potions. And then there's one that you don't know what it is.
So 22 plus
22 plus 8, 30.
Oh, 20. Okay. Yeah, 30. So 30. Nice.
Fagolas on his turn looks up and says, guys, does anyone notice that puff of glass above us that strangely looks like a cloud giant forming? And as you all look up now and look at it, yeah, it kind of does look like a cloud giant.
Cloud elemental or something.
All right, he's going to fly up towards it. And he makes it up there. So yeah, he's at the window. And that'll be up to you guys. Warren Octavio, sorry. For the love of God, my dude. My fingers are crossed for you, but can't save at disadvantage.
I am going to I'm gonna look at Saul and I'm gonna say, Saul, save my friends. They're too stupid to give me a healing potion. Fucking I hope I did Omatter justice.
What'd you roll?
I rolled a fucking 6.
So that puts you to the 6th level of exhaustion. A sudden surge of pain, completely in one kind of climactic finish, ends for you, Octavios. As the world momentarily stands still, you grip your chest. The ring is coming for its burden. You take a deep breath. You know there's nothing left that you can do. You've done what you can. You look at your bloodied friends, and you only hope that it was enough. You fall into blackness, and your face is met with the scorching sand. As you look up, you see the racked god once more, and he calls out to you, Octavius Wren, the Undaunted. Have you finally come to join me? Have you suffered all that you can bear? His voice is omnipotent and just ringing out in all kind of facets. It just seems to touch you, engulf you, as you feel and look at this god on a crucifix. Thousands of chains just torn into his body as he's a completely flayed man with these hooks just dagged into him. He's weeping tears for you. He asks you if you've suffered all that you can suffer.
It's just a temporary stop. I'll be back. I think.
Make me a religion check at advantage.
Don't even say anything.
That's the perfect timing for a natural 20. See, all these bad rolls were just leading up to this one good roll, okay? He then looks at you and says, then now is not your time, the Undaunted. I gave you this ring to endure as I have, and I know the journey has been a painful one, but it is not over yet. You have proven yourself worthy, Wren. You may now wield this ring free of its burden, for you are the one who endures. And with that, you unlock the last ability of the ring, which is called the one who endures. And with a natural 20, putting you up to 25, that's actually literally so crazy that it happens. You proc the best possible thing, exceeding the DC of 25. You gain the benefits of a long rest. Right now.
What the
Are
fuck?
you serious?
Not even kidding you.
Yeah. That's pretty cool, man.
Your eyes rip open and you feel completely reinvigorated. Your hand is still cut off, but it is no longer bleeding. All your cuts and bruises are scarred and healed over, and you feel like a new man. You look on the back of this dragon that you're on, your friend Phagolus, and you look at your two beaten friends surging with power and energy, knowing that you can endure so much more. You look up ahead and see that gaseous form in the window that you're just now next to. A face is forming in it, a female face, a face behind a mask. As Sansuri begins to form in the misty form before you. I think that is where we'll end it, since we are much beyond our playtime.
Oh, that was a little close.
As if you fucking rolled a natural 20.
Well, because you rolled nothing but a fucking 4 the rest of the whole thing.
Oh, damn
Like, it was
time.
literally 4.
So yeah,
that was a rough one.
when we end the game, I'll tell you what the last ability actually does. The ring is basically unlocked its full potential now. And we will pick up next week, guys. I know that was fucking hectic, way more hectic than I thought it was going to get.
Any chance I could use my action?
Yeah, sure. What's up?
All right. That way we can end at the end of the initiative.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
In that case, I am going to use Misty Step. So I want to look around, trying to figure out where's the best place to teleport to, Misty Step to. Wherever it is, I want it so that I can just drop. I don't fall into a courtyard below or whatever. So maybe in that like northwest corner or whatever one you said it was. And he'll glance and then with a snap of his fingers, teleport over to that area. And I'm going to drop my levitate, so I just fall.
Okay. This actually is a really interesting thing that I did not foresee also. As you begin to plummet down, you fall 500 feet per second or per second to return. So you just literally drop. And before long, you break the cloud surface now and are just free falling towards the earth below. You still got, I think, at least 1,000 feet up you are. Give me a perception check.
Oh, I just closed my sheet. One sec. Perception. I haven't rolled any good either tonight, so.
Perfect. That's the only cliffhanger that you guys get then. So you fallen 500 feet below unless you wanted to do something else. Stop it before, because 500 feet is the rate at which I guess actually you fall 500 feet at the end of your turn. So yeah, it's up to you.
As long as I'm not hitting the ground by then, yeah, I'll be good for now.
You still have like 2 turns of falling before you hit the ground.
Yeah, I won't cast anything yet.
Okay.
Do that on my next turn.
Gotcha. All right, Chaos then. Chaos will be next session. That's where we'll end it, guys. Fully reinvigorated.
Next session, like, this wasn't chaos this session.
Yeah. Thanks for playing as always, guys. Thanks for any who watched, and we will see you next time. Peace out.